There's a lot of people that are kind of doing this whole self-improvement game, the business entrepreneurship game. They're trying to find themselves. They're trying to find some sort of spirituality. They're trying to, you've I've heard the story 1,000 times of the dude that goes to like Ibiza or something to like find himself or something, or like, oh yeah, bro, we're gonna lock in Locktober, no, November, winter arc, stuff like that. And like, I think these are great ideas for what people really like need as a motivator to get started. But then like there's always something. It's always something, and I hear it all the time. It's always something of like, oh, but it's my birthday. Oh, it's this person's birthday. It's this thing. It's this event. It's a once in a lifetime thing. 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 I've heard it. I think the most I've heard it, I think I've heard once in a lifetime thing probably 4 times in like 1 week. I've heard that 4 times, once in a lifetime events in 1 week. And people will set these strict boundaries, like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna do this. I'm never gonna go out again. I'm never drinking. I'm never eating fast food. I'm never eating seed oils. Oh, seed oils. Like, it's this thing where people are creating this strict boundary that is just bound to fail, and it's just never gonna happen. And it doesn't ever work out where someone says, you know what, I'm gonna make a boundary that's really strict, and it's just it's basically saying like I'm gonna be perfect for the rest of my life, and it's never gonna work. Or someone will be like, oh yeah, I know, but I understand that it's not gonna be perfect, and then they end up doing something completely bullshit, like being on a cut, and they end up like, I'm a victim of this. I'm not a victim of this. I've done this. Like being on a cut, and then you go like, oh yeah, but I'm only gonna have a couple drinks, or oh yeah, I'm on a cut, and let's go out, or like, oh yeah, no man, I'm looking for jobs. I've done like 3 Indeed messages today. Like, it's Indeed. You can message 1,000 people at once. What I'm trying to say here is that if you decide to walk down this road, if you decide to become this person, if you decide you want to make it part of your character, stick to your word. Don't make it a thing where you're saying you're going to do something and then you just like kind of do it. Like fully be into it for a bit. Like, at least feel that for a bit, that pressure, that feeling of being, this person, of becoming and being this, righteous, whatever rules you've established for yourself. I've written 1,000 journals about my own personal rules. I think the most important one for me is this idea of integrity and being who I say I am. So that's pretty broad, but what I pretty much mean by this is like, I always have cared about the pursuit of wisdom and curiosity and general curiosity in life and interests and reading and studying. And I've really cared about this all my life. And it's not just in school, it's reading books, it's learning from smart people, it's asking questions and feeling like an idiot a little bit. Like, it's very important to feel like an idiot for me, a lot. I also think that it means that I need to be on a constant improvement cycle in my life. And whether or not that's through different seasons or whatever I'm doing, whether or not I'm trying to get healthier, or I'm trying to create something, or I'm trying to learn something from a process, or I'm meditating more, or I'm going on a trip to learn something, it's kind of cope, but I'm still experiencing life. It's these rules that are so strict in my mind that there's no question of whether or not I'm following them, because it's not even a rule anymore. It's code. It's become biological code in my brain that no matter what, I'm gonna try my best in any circumstance to either grow and develop or learn, or sometimes it's okay to just experience life. But I'm not gonna experience life in a way that's like, oh, frat party number 42. It's a once in a lifetime experience to go to this one frat party on this one day. That's the exact same as every other frat party I've been to every single year. It's it's fine. It's a frat party. I've been to a couple. They're fine. If you get drunk, it's pretty fun. But like, that's it. Like you sit here and you create these, and people will create their rules for themselves, and they'll follow the same rules, and they'll say like, oh yeah, I want to be disciplined, I want to be strong, I want to be wise, and then they won't study. Or on top of they won't study, they'll actively hinder themselves from study. So it's this thing where, someone will say they'll say, okay, I want to learn more. And their learning is so consequently slow, but it's still technically learning, that it's almost logarithmic in shape, to the point that okay, you're producing growth, but there's a boundary as to how much you can grow. Like if I learned so much about real estate investing, but I never got a job to pay for the houses, then I can't really it's not learning, it's not self-improvement, it's not education, it's not business. Because you can only get so far without the money for it. Maybe you can become an investor, I guess. I don't know how the real estate market works, but you get the idea. If you study books on how to pick up girls, I guess, or make friends, if you read How to Make Friends and Influence People 1,000 times, you're getting to the point where you're just sitting there and reading a book for fun. And you need to sit there and look at yourself at some point and be like, you know what? What's the next step? What's the next step in this process? Or okay, I need to establish, I have these same rules, my standards haven't changed, I'm still trying to learn things, but what's the new way to do it? Okay, my sleep, I'm improving my sleep. Okay, I can only improve it so much, and it's another aspect of health I can do. I can cut out, certain foods, and you keep ramping it up, and you keep growing through that. And it becomes this thing where you kind of just keep stepping into this zone of discomfort, where you're sitting there and you're constantly, you're growing a lot, because you're these are the levels, right? And this is the levels of fitness. If you start here, right, and you move up to here, you should state your next thing at here, because you're going to be here. So if you're trying to get up to this as the baseline, then you'll have to force yourself into that zone of discomfort, where this gap is going to be breached pretty fast. And it's not a weights thing, but it's a mental discomfort thing. And slowly you get used to this feeling of okay, I'm not ready for this, but I'm doing it anyways. But no matter what, you're still sticking true to your principles, and you're still saying, I'm gonna be who I say I am, and I'm gonna be the best version of myself, because you're growing still, and you're not taking the easy road out, and you're not stagnant, because you stagnate. When you decide that you want to get really good form on your bicep curls or whatever, and you stay there, because I've done this, and I do it all the time, you say, I'm gonna stay there, and I want to get really good at my form, and make sure I'm not ego lifting, and you stay with the 20-pound weights, then you're going to have really good form on the 20-pound weights. But at some point, you need to say, you know what? No, my form's good now. Let's move it up. And then you're going to have bad form again. Or you're going to have, you're going to do 5. And you need to sit there and determine that 5 is worth the worst form, because it's going to lead you into a place of growth. And then you eventually do 7 or 8 or 10. And then you do 10. And you do 10 with really good form. Once you do 10 with really good form, you need to say, okay, 35, okay, 40, okay, 45, and then you keep moving it up, if that's what you want. So it's really important to keep this idea of constantly establishing new standards for yourself very fast, almost too fast, to the point where you're always uncomfortable with where you're at and you feel out of place. You should also create a set of rules for yourself that you think are the most important things to you. I've said that before, I mentioned it before, how it's really important to me that someone has integrity. And I've kind of based it off the ideas of Stoicism, where they say the pursuit of wisdom and discipline and virtue are the most important. And I think integrity is up there too, personally, because after studying them a lot, I think integrity is something that they highly value but don't mention. I think when you look at guys of history that are super important and super valuable, they always have high integrity. If you look at guys like Jesus Christ, he said that he died on a cross for his beliefs. And I have major respect for that. You look at guys like Napoleon or George Washington that are willing to die on their metaphorical crosses because they truly believe in what they're doing. Therapists will sit there and yell at you, and they'll be uncomfortable to get you to change your mind or to believe something. Good friends will sit there and make you uncomfortable because they believe in what's best for you. And you need to believe in what's best for you too. And you need to stand on that business. Because standing on business is the only thing you have. If you don't stand on your fucking business, what else are you gonna do? Who else are you if you don't stand on your own business? If you don't have any business. If you lie and cheat and hide yourself for the benefit of others, to hide yourself and feel comfortable, then you're no one. I talked about this in the video before. You're no one if you hide behind that. Because all you have is your word. You have your word, your soul, and you barely have your body. Because your body is a part of your soul. Your body is something that you kind of use as a vessel. It's kind of like, I kind of think of it like a transformer, but whatever. like a guy sitting up here, not a transformer, but like a Power Ranger, like Megazord or whatever. Like your guy sitting up here is controlling you. Because you're up here. You're in the brain. And you're controlling this whole body. So you barely know this. But through this, you can improve up here. So, to summarize, again, I'm just going to say it again. Stick to your word always. It's all you have. It's the most important thing you have. Establish your values and your principles and your rules. Never break them, no matter what. If your principle is to be like celibate till marriage, and some really attractive girl comes along and tells you she's a good religious human being, and she needs to and she would only be with you if you sleep with her, that's breaking your principle. Doesn't matter. For the greater, you could say the end justifies the means, that's a different rule, but you're breaking your principle, and that doesn't fly with a guy like me. Breaking your principle means I don't trust you, because you don't trust yourself, and you don't trust your morals. Stick to them no matter what. If you tell me you're going to do something, do it. If you tell me you are this type of person, I don't care how tempting the offer. If you don't try your best to avoid those deep temptations or those deep grips and grasps, then you're nothing. You're a slave to your desire, and don't be that. Okay? See you later.